After the show, Robert Davi joining us here on the Curvy Couch. But before we chat with him, let's go on out to Nashville, Tennessee. And Anna Koyman has been at the Goo Goo Clusters plant. Hey, Anna, something we were unable to ask you as you're there on the inspection line is when you throw out one of the clusters.
Where do they go?
Yeah, where does it go? Do they recycle it or what?
I know, it's so sad, right? Let me show you this right here. So these are some of the bad ones that go here. Sometimes they'll come off the line, and there will be like 3 of them. You know, it looks like the Baby Ruth scene from Caddyshack. Everybody can relate to that. Nobody wants one of those to end up like this. So that's where they go. But Lance, this is the executive vice president here of Goo Goo Clusters. You say that these are actually kind of mixed up when people aren't stealing them like me for Blizzard?
Right, secondary market, ice cream, that kind of thing, yeah. Actually, not the red bin stuff. That goes in it's white bin, but that's...
In a white bin.
Semantics.
We're learning all kinds of things about hair nets and red bins and white bins and beard nets, apparently.
Good manufacturing practices.
So Made in America, though, that's really what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And how important is Goo Goo Clusters really for Nashville as a community? I mean, you've been an official sponsor of the Grand Ole Opry since 1966, in business for 101 years. Right.
Well, for Nashville, it's very important. And the thing that's great about it is actually it's a two-way street. You meet people in Nashville now that maybe had a grandfather that worked at Standard Candy Company back in the 40s. I mean, it's not uncommon at all to run into someone and then you tell them, I work at Goo Goo Cluster. And they say, oh, my aunt was the shift manager there in the 60s. I mean, we've been here for so long that it's interwoven in the fabric of Nashville.
Very nice. Lance, thank you so much. And
thanks for coming.
And I'm really excited that you've shared the gooey goodness with us.
We appreciate it.
Ryan and Steve.
Very nice, Anna. Thank you very much for the hard work on the candy line there in Nashville.
Hey, Robert Davi joins us again, and he has to go off to another interview, so we want to make sure that we have time to talk to you about your new movie that's coming out, Iceman. Tell us about it.
Iceman, well, it's based on a true story of Richard Kuklinski, the serial killer of the mob. Do you remember that in the 70s?
Sure.
Big story on the East Coast and all over. And he had over 250 or so hits that he did with one of the mafia crews, and the film is really a brilliant piece, very powerful. We've been getting amazing response from people, and Michael Shannon, the actor that's I think one of the top actors of our generation right now, this younger generation, plays Kuklinski, and he's a terrifying portrait of this character. And the way the director approached the material, it's not just about the slaughters,
right?
But and it's more than just psychological. Winona Ryder plays the wife, the unsuspecting wife kind of thing. She's brilliant in the film. Chris Evans plays Richard Prongi, who was also a serial killer, who partnered up with him. Ray Liotta plays Roy DeMeo. So you got Goodfellas playing Roy DeMeo, and I'm the captain of the Gambino crime family.
You are so so good as a mobster. How close? At some stage in your life, you might have thought, okay, maybe I should go that way.
No, I know.
I'm close.
You know, see,
How close were you?
Here you go. I was never that close. I was always a kid that loved Shakespeare and poetry and singing and music, but I also had that edge, and that was always fun. You know, I mean. I did my first film with Sinatra, you know.
Name dropper?
Yeah, right
well,
here.
when you got that on your resume, why not drop the name?
You got to drop it.
Yeah,
how many guys that could say they did their first film with Sinatra?
Have you always been Robert Davi, or were you ever Bobby Davi?
There was Bobby Davies, and there were Robert Davies. You know, I think Sean Hannity sometimes goes, you know, isn't you Robert? Somebody may have told him, call him Robert Davy. No, but it was but it was always Davi. But people would say. And then I wouldn't correct them back then. And then, you know, I guess somewhere in my late teens, my grandfather says, it's not Davy. What's a Davy? It's Davi. So then I started saying...
It's Davi, damn it.
Yeah, Davi, damn it, or Davi Davy.
So when can people see the film?
May 3rd. It opens up this Friday, May 3rd. So check it out. It's and then it opens the following week in Miami and other territories. But it's really a very powerful film, and the performances are great. I mean, the response from the people that have seen it so far is just really tremendous.
And what did you do to prepare for your role?
Well, you know, over the years, I played a couple of guys.
Yeah,
so I did a lot of preparation prior in my life. And no, but for this year, I did research the character Anthony Gaggi, who I'm based on. My character is Leo Marx, but it's based on Nino Gaggi, who was the captain of the Gambino crime family. So I looked at tapes of him and pictures, read about him. I understood some of the folklore of Roy DeMeo and that crew and Kuklinski. And I have friends in law enforcement, you know, police officers,
You could do this character in your sleep.
Well, I always try to bring something different to him.
Yes.
But I can do him in my sleep. Hey, I played FBI guy, you know, on Profiler for 4.5 years.
I know.
You know, I would imagine when you go into a New York City restaurant, the person who's going to seat people either thinks, now that guy is either a mobster or he's a movie guy who plays mobsters. He's going to get a really good table.
Always get a good table.
I bet you.
Especially at Patsy's on West 56.
I love Patsy's.
Best restaurant.
Is your picture up there?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You kidding? Sinatra brought me there in 70s. No, that restaurant is like so great.
They got the best vodka sauce.
Vodka sauce. They got the best linguine aglio olio pepperoncini. They got the veal
Now
Milanese.
you're just showing off.
The veal Milanese is a killer veal Milanese. I mean, it's incredible. But anyway.
Thanks for making us hungry, Robert.
I'm starved. But I hope I made you hungry for the Iceman, so please.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
I hope
You're a good transition guy.
Oh, I'm a good transition
All right, so
guy.
everyone go out and see it, Robert. Great
Thank
to see you.
Great to see you.
Okay, thanks.
Take
See you,
care.
Bobby
Good to
Dobby.
see- I'm going to be at the Big Daddy Golf Tournament, June
Fantastic.
24th. You know Richard Salgado?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that for the charity.
That's who told me last week you're going to be on.
Richard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Big Daddy. He's
Oh,
a
Big
regular.
Daddy.
Here he is singing.
I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love.